This is the 4,000-year-old tooth that broke archaeology. Hidden inside it was the oldest DNA ever recovered from the Indus Valley, and what scientists found inside rewrote human history. It revealed who really built the first cities of India, and the answer turned every old theory upside down. For centuries, historians believed civilization flowed into India from elsewhere, from Mesopotamia, from Central Asia, from the so-called Aryan migrations. But this single discovery, buried in the quiet village of Rakhigarhi in Haryana, proved that the truth was far older, far deeper, and far more Indian than anyone had imagined. Because before the pyramids, before Rome, before even Athens, a brilliant civilization was already thriving here, designing cities with surgical precision, building drainage systems that still baffle engineers, and leaving behind a mystery that only now, after 4,500 years, science has begun to solve. In the northwestern subcontinent, the ruins of Harappa, Mohenjo-daro, and dozens of sister cities reveal an advanced civilization that appeared more than 4,500 years ago. These were not scattered villages. They were planned urban centers with standardized bricks, intersecting streets, and complex water management systems. Yet their origins remained a mystery. Were they invaders from distant lands, native builders rising from the soil itself, or something entirely unexpected? Unlike Egypt or Mesopotamia, the Indus people left no readable kings, no monuments, no boastful inscriptions, only stillness, stone, brick, and silence stretching across millennia. For generations, scholars searched for answers until that one tooth changed everything. In 2012, archaeologists uncovered a burial at Rakhigarhi, a woman carefully laid to rest, surrounded by pottery fragments. Her molars had survived 4 millennia of heat, humidity, and time. For decades, every attempt to recover ancient DNA from the Indus had failed. The climate simply destroyed it. But this time, against all odds, one tooth preserved a viable strand of genetic code, the first ever successfully sequenced genome from the Indus Valley Civilization. That single strand launched a global collaboration between archaeologists and geneticists from India, South Korea, and Harvard University, including Dr. Vasant Shinde and geneticist David Reich. Years of painstaking analysis followed, filtering contamination, comparing genomes, and mapping ancestry across thousands of years. The stakes were enormous. India's ancestral story is not just scientific, it's cultural, political, even spiritual. Any conclusion would be celebrated by some and contested by others. When the final data emerged, it stunned the world. The woman from Rakhigarhi carried no genetic traces of steppe pastoralists, the group long linked to the so-called Aryan migration theory. Nor did she descend from Iranian farmers who had once spread agriculture westward. Her DNA told a different story, one rooted deeply in the subcontinent itself. Her genome revealed a unique blend, ancestry related to ancient South Asian hunter-gatherers, and an Iranian-related lineage that had branched off long before the rise of Near Eastern farming cultures. In other words, she and her civilization were a distinct genetic mosaic, formed thousands of years earlier and isolated from later migrations. This directly challenged the idea that the Indus cities were founded by outsiders. The Harappans were not invaders. They were the indigenous innovators of South Asia. Modern DNA studies now show that elements of this ancient ancestry, known as the Indus Valley Cline, still echo across the subcontinent today. In a very real sense, the people who built those brick cities never vanished. They live on in millions of descendants. Even more striking, the Rakhigarhi genome predates the arrival of steppe ancestry by centuries. That means the Indus civilization rose entirely on its own, a homegrown experiment in urban life, not an imported one. So what was life like in these cities? Archaeology paints a picture of order without ostentation. No colossal palaces, no divine pharaohs, no empire carved by conquest. Instead, standardized homes, public reservoirs, central drainage, and workshops humming with craft. The Harappans traded with Mesopotamia, shipped beads and metals across oceans, and used uniform weights and measures with mathematical precision. Some homes had private baths, others, multi-story layouts with courtyards for light and air. It was a civilization built on balance, sanitation, and design, not domination. Their seals, tiny, intricate, carved with bulls, unicorns, and inscriptions we still cannot read, traveled as far as ancient Sumer. They may have been merchants, artisans, engineers, a society of builders rather than conquerors. No other ancient culture shows such advanced civic planning without the fingerprints of kings. But even the greatest cities yield to nature. Around 1900 BCE, as monsoon patterns shifted and rivers like the Ghaggar-Hakra, often linked to the legendary Sarasvati, dried, the urban centers slowly dispersed. The people did not vanish, they migrated eastward, carrying their traditions into the Gangetic plains. In that movement, the spirit of the Indus transformed but never died. And now, thousands of years later, one of those voices has spoken again, through a single tooth. The Rakhigarhi discovery didn't just fill a gap, it flipped the entire narrative. The Indus civilization wasn't an offshoot of Mesopotamia or a colony of migrants, it was an origin point. One of humanity's first independent experiments in organized urban life, born from the land itself. This revelation redefines not only Indian history, but human history. If you found this journey as fascinating as we did, subscribe to Awakened Epochs for more.